Welcome to this Get Started video for refrigerant tracking and compliance with the Parasense platform. In this video, we will be covering building your asset database and setting up your organizational structure. An accurate and a complete asset database forms the foundation for effective refrigerant management. Keeping these records up to date is an ongoing challenge for any organization. Sites are continually maintained, may be modified, and a diverse range of refrigeration equipment is often deployed. For an enterprise or for maintainers responsible for multiple customers, these challenges grow exponentially without an effective tool to simplify the process. In the Parasense platform, we've tried to make this as simple as possible while still empowering you to leverage the greatest insights from your data. So let's get started. We'll kick off with setting up your organizational structure and then move on to refrigeration assets. There are two key use cases for entering and managing organizational structure in the Parasense platform. The first is if you are a refrigeration equipment owner working for a company with refrigeration assets, you wish to make sure your organization is structured effectively for reporting purposes. The second is if you are a maintainer looking to manage refrigeration on behalf of multiple customers. The process is the same for both. It is important to note that you will need to have the role administrator to manage your organizational structure. If you are following along and cannot see the menu options, this is likely the reason. Get in touch with your administrator or the Parasense support team to resolve this if appropriate. When you sign up for the Parasense platform, a company would have been created for you before your first login based on the information you shared in the sign-up form. In our example here, you work for a company called Fantastic Fresh and Frozen Foods Inc., and here is that company visible in the filter box. To make administrative changes, select the user icon in the top right, hover over Company Administration and select Company. Your company and any organizations you are linked with will appear in this list. You can edit the company you work for and any companies you have created. Select the Edit icon to see the details and make any changes. As an equipment owner, it is important that the field company type is set to refrigeration equipment owner. The other options, maintainer, reclaimer, consultancy and supplier, allow companies with these roles to be added into the system and selected for specific tasks, such as being the supplier of refrigerant or the destination for reclaimed refrigerant, for example. If visible, the administration date and state serve as internal flags to the system. They do not affect the behavior of the system. Any relevant documents can be uploaded if required. And if you are a maintainer, you can add your customers' organizations here. Let's create a region. Select the user icon in the top right, hover over Company Administration, and select Region. At least one region is required. If you do not have the need for multiple regions, then all your sites can belong to a single region. If your organization is structured regionally or internationally, then create as many regions as you require. We'll create two regions now, North and South. If you have administrative access to multiple equipment owner organizations, each will be selectable in the equipment owner company drop-down, and any existing regions will be visible in the region list. Select Create New Region, and type in a name. A region's name must be unique within the selected organization. And select Save. Here's your new region in the list. I'll just create the South region now. There we go. Edit a region at any time via the Edit icon. Let's create a site. Select the user icon in the top right, hover over Company Administration and select Site. As before, if you have administrative access to multiple organizations, they'll be selectable here. Any existing sites will be visible in the sites list. I'll crack on and create a new site. There are a few optional fields for site data. Those that are required have a red star, and I will cover these now. A site name must be unique within the selected organization. Select the correct region that you've already created. Site type allows you to categorize your sites by whatever criteria you see suitable. The first time you do this list will be blank, so let's type in retail store and select Add New. We've now created this site type for your customer list, and multiple sites can be tagged with this label. you can create as many site types as you require following this same process. This functionality is particularly powerful when comparing refrigerant consumption, or if you are a Green Shield partner, quickly excluding office spaces from your annual report. Reference 1 is surfaced as a prefix to the site name. It's optional, allowing you to use internal codes if appropriate, and reference 2 is surfaced as a suffix. Address line 1, state and zip code and country are required. Any compliance reporting requires the address of any sites with refrigeration equipment. The site open date is required so that the system knows when this site became operational. If you do not know the exact date, choosing the approximate month and correct year will suffice for now. It can always be updated later if needed. The last required field is selecting the relevant regulatory frameworks for the site. I chose the state of Colorado, so EPA is relevant, and click Save. Here's your new site in the list, and I'll just go ahead and add a few more sites. Great. Now we have a selection of sites in each region and with different site types. This second drop down above the table allows you to toggle between viewing site details or regulatory framework. And there we have creating companies, regions and sites. Let's move on to the asset database. Once a site exists, refrigeration equipment can be added to the site. In contrast to the organizational structure, the site inventory is available to all users. It may be likely the case that a maintainer is on site and needs to carry out maintenance on equipment that may not yet be in the system, so it's important to allow the ability for records to be created at any point. The Site Inventory tab is accessed from the left-hand side menu. If you have access to multiple companies, each will be visible in the company filter. Select the site you wish to add the equipment to, and any existing equipment will be visible in the list. Select Add New Refrigeration Equipment. We provide many fields for refrigeration equipment as there are a wide range of practices in the market. The required fields are annotated with a red star. Any field required in the Parasense platform is required by regulation bodies when reporting. Equipment name must be unique to the site. Select the equipment manufacturer from the list. You can type to filter the list. If you have equipment by a manufacturer not in the list, just type the manufacturer's name and select Add New. Similarly for model. Serial number is optional but provides excellent identification of a specific piece of equipment. Equipment type is required for determining what procedures, thresholds and timeframes are applicable for the equipment. System type is optional, specifying the design of the system, but this is useful for advanced investigations. Similarly for temperature classification. If your company labels equipment with tags, you can capture this in the tag ID. The install date is important to determine what equipment is included in time-based calculations of full charge, and therefore leak rates. The location description is required by regulations, and it should make it clear for someone without intimate site knowledge how to find and locate the equipment. Automatic leak detection cover defaults to none. Select the refrigerant from the list. Start typing to narrow down the list. Type in the full charge and select the units if different to the default. The full charge calculation method defaults to manufacturer information, but you can update this to measured or calculated if appropriate. If there are calculation considerations that require notation, you can do that here in the full charge calculation description section. The documentation section is all optional, providing the opportunity to note work order or invoice numbers for the current work, which in this case may be a site audit. These fields are searchable throughout the application when reviewing historical tasks. Any digital documents, photos, certificates, instructions for example, can be attached to the entry if you wish. Finally, if we ask if you know when the last leak inspection was, the default is no, but if you're in the carb region and your equipment is over a certain size, then periodic inspections are required regardless of leak rate. If you know the date of the last inspection, we can schedule the next one accordingly. Otherwise, an inspection will be scheduled for today. We'll hit save. And here's your equipment in the list. I'll just crack on and add some more. And now we have a good list of equipment. The asset database can be added to at any time. Your assets are now available throughout the site via the filters at the top of the page. You can now record events, the addition of refrigerant, inspections, repairs, etc. against the equipment in Record Event. You can see upcoming tasks and the full history of all records in the Compliance Calendar, and review the refrigerant usage over time in the Refrigerant Usage tab. To find out more about these features, please see our other videos. Thanks for watching.